So what I'll do is I'm basically cutting along this edge, and then I'm cutting out the middle part. So got this top piece. Hey everybody, welcome back. It has been a cold month that I haven't really done anything because it's been snowing off and on here in DC, but finally got warm enough for me to tackle one of the big projects today, which is putting in the Flarespace flares. So what I did to prep the inside of the van is I put some plastic up to help keep the shards of metal from going back into that part of the van. I taped off around to cover up some of the holes so that the metal can't go down in there, and then kind of created a lip down here to catch some of the metal as it comes down. Obviously, making the tape stick will help as well. And then what I did with the duct tape here is I found out that as you're cutting, when you have it duct taped along the seam, it actually prevents it from vibrating back and forth until you go past that. And so as I'm cutting this very big piece out of the window, this will help alleviate some of those vibrations. So in order to prep, you also need to obviously draw a line across here so that you know that you're cutting straight. And really it's just about taking your time when you're cutting with the jigsaw. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to take your time so you get it right the first time. So I'm going to get busy cutting these out. We'll do a few pilot holes, get the jigsaw in there, and start working on it. So cross our fingers, everything turns out okay. Yeah. Hey, so luckily, I'm not going to be doing this alone today. I actually have somebody who's going to be out here helping me. So wave hi to the camera. That's Frank.
Fake records.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2
He's the muscle. So he's going to be help me out today. You really should have two people when you're working with these flares. Doing it by yourself is I'm not sure it's possible, but it's highly not recommended. And you will notice that I am wearing Beats headphones and not hearing protection because Frank is wearing my only pair of hearing protection. So safety first. Safety first, folks. All right, so what I have here on my driver is a step down bit. This is what I've been using when I was cutting out the windows. It works really well to kind of get that wide hole so you can get the blade in with the jigsaw. I'll try to get as close to the edge as possible so that it's just easier for me to get the jigsaw in there. So this is not an expensive bit. I highly recommend it if you're going to be doing this type of work.
Shot Biggie Smalls, if we don't get them, they gon' get us all. I'm down for running up on them in they city hall. We ride for y'all, all my dogs, stay real. Don't think these record deals gon' feed your season, pay your bills because they not. MCs get a little bit of love and think they hot. Talking about how much money they got. All y'all records sound the same. I'm sick of that fake thug R&B rap scenario all day on the radio. Same scenes in the video, monotonous material. Y'all don't hear me though. These record labels slang our tapes like dope. You could be next in line and sign and still be writing rhymes and wrote. You'd rather have a Lexus or justice, a dream or some substance, a beamer, a necklace or freedom. Sipping like me don't play, hey, I just stay awake. This real hip hop and it don't stop till we get the popo off the block. They call it hip hop.
Hey, so an interesting thing when I was cutting out where the flares are gonna go. The corner right here, because I don't have one of the fancy pneumatic cutters, right, and I've just got this little Black & Decker thing, is that I couldn't turn the corner, and so I had to lift the jigsaw away from the metal and then almost hold it like an inch out in order to kind of slowly go around that corner. And it sounds dangerous. It didn't feel any less dangerous than me pressing it against there. I just went extra slow, kept it on like a really high setting, and it cut right through the metal. So just something to keep in mind when you're doing this. Okay, so now that I've cut kind of 3/4 of the way through, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back with some gaffer's tape. I'm gonna reline this with gaffer's tape to help hold this so it doesn't vibrate when I'm cutting it the rest of the way. I'll stop before I get right here and I'll retape this again, and then that way the piece doesn't fall out and potentially scratch the side of your van or mess up something else. You should probably be wearing gloves while you're doing this. Don't follow my lead. So what Frank and I are going to do right now is we're going to work on deburring this window, and then we're going to prime it, let it sit, start working on the other window, and then get into the actual difficult part, which is making sure the flares fit, doing some sanding, and putting them back in. All right, so we're done cutting out the windows, and Frank is, follow me over here. What Frank's doing right now is he's sanding the outside of the window, and then we're gonna clean that up with some isopropyl so that the silicone that we have better adheres to it. And then I'm doing the same thing right here on the flare. I'm just taking some 120, going around the outside of it, clean it off with a rag, wipe it down with isopropyl, and then we'll get ready to put silicone on, see if we can get this thing adhered up. All right, so I actually have somebody here to help me, so I don't have to do first person perspective. Thank you again, Frank. All right, so what we did is we went ahead and prepped our tape up here on the van so that when we put the Flarespace up there, we can just get this down real quick, get it held into place so that we can put a couple more pieces of tape up there. This is the sealant that was sent with the Flarespace flares, so we're just gonna cut a hole in this. This stuff is commercial stuff, it's pretty serious. What I've seen online is that folks will do is they'll cut it, but then they'll put a notch in the cup so that it creates kind of like a hill or a peak at the top of the silicone when it comes out. That's supposed to work better for adhesion. We went ahead and sanded this, wiped it down with the isopropyl alcohol. What I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to stay on the inside edge of this when I'm putting the silicone down, and that's just so that it doesn't squirt out the sides or has the least propensity to squirt out the sides when we're putting it up there, because this stuff is supposed to be a bear and really adhere to whatever you get it to. So now we're gonna try to make it happen.
Stop staring back. Knows he's gonna crash, but he can't avoid the black. Doesn't matter anyway, this is the best thing. This is only a test.
you can't even... All right, lesson learned. So after you put it up, you got to go around the inside with this silicone or this seal, which is like molasses. It's some of the craziest stuff I've ever put on. What they don't really talk about is that over here in the front where it tapers down, you actually like can't get there. And I've seen some people online, they're talking about they put hoses on the end of this to get back there. I'm pretty confident with the amount of adhesive we put on it prior to actually mounting. But for this next one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that I put a really good amount on that far end, just to make sure it's sealed. But I went around the inside of it. I put an entire bead on it, rubbed it down with my fingers to make sure that it was in there. Everything is sealed. If you stay to the inside of the flare, like a lot of the other places talk about online, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It doesn't go out. It pushes to the inside of the van, and it helps create that seal. The second thing is this stuff is crazy sticky. So once you have it in place, I think it would be really hard to slide it around. Luckily, Frank and I did it right the first time. But if you don't, it could be very, very difficult to have to go back and fix that. So just keep that in mind. Hey guys, tune in next time when we take on the roof, put in the Max Air Max fan, and I show you how to custom mount your solar panel with 80/20.